Effective communication in the workplace can be one of the biggest obstacles to overcome. I'm not just talking about with customers, so I'm sure we've all had our fair share of mush mouths, as I like to call them. You know, those people you can never understand. I'm mainly talking about communication between employees. I've come across an informative website called Business Performance. This website gives some useful tips in regards to several different facets of communication in the workplace. Today I'd like to talk about the costs of poor workplace communication, communicating organizational goals, and how to give constructive feedback. Let me start with the effects of poor workplace communication. The most notable effect of poor workplace communication is going to be poor customer service. In regards to a business environment, let's say a customer comes in to pick up an item they have ordered. First, they're going to communicate to the associate at the service desk what they need here to pick up. Then they communicate that to another employee to go pick up the item, and then they bring the item back. There's a lot of communication that goes on in between getting that item to that customer. But if there's a poor communication, it's going to take a lot longer and the customer is going to get upset. Along with poor customer service comes an increased employee turnover. Basically, this is going to come from employees getting upset with their management about the poor communication. Managers don't communicate a new schedule, or they don't communicate the jobs they want. Obviously, the employees are going to get frustrated with this and eventually try to find a workplace with a better communication standard. After increased employee turnover, we have a failed project delivery. This could happen just day to day throughout a business environment. Projects need to meet their deadlines, and with poor communication skills, it's just going to take longer and you're not going to meet those deadlines. Now that we've discussed the effects of poor workplace communication, let's talk about communicating organizational goals. The biggest thing here is to set goals, and you need to communicate those goals. If management doesn't communicate their goals to their employees, how can those employees be expected to complete those goals? If they don't know what goals they need to work for, obviously efficiency is going to be down. They're going to complete the tasks that they feel are the most necessary, which the management probably think there are other goals that are more necessary. Obviously that adds to the frustration also. If the goals aren't communicated, you're just going to get that frustration between employees and management, and it's just going to lead to inefficiency. The other thing that you want to do when you're making sure to set these goals is try to make sure the same goals go for everybody. Everybody knows what's going on in the situation. After discussing communicating organizational goals, let's now talk about constructive feedback. Now there are several types of feedback. There's coaching feedback. So let's say a manager's talking to their employees and they're giving them information. They're, just like it says, they're coaching them. Giving them information about how to better do their job, and giving them feedback on how they're doing at their job. And there's also giving feedback to encourage employees. And that kind of goes along with the coaching. You want to let your employees know that they're doing a good job and that they're doing the right thing. And if they're not doing the right thing, do it in a way that isn't negative, so they don't get frustrated with you, and then that increases the employee turnover. Along with that, there's also encouraging feedback from others. So you want your employees to give feedback to you as being the management. That's going to give you better tips on how to handle the situations, and ultimately it's just going to make a better organizational structure. There's going to be more happy employees and a better work environment. Now that I've gone over some information from the Business Performance website, I'd like to say that it gave some very useful and informative information. To me, the best tips that the site have to offer were in regards to feedback, how to both give it and receive it. In closing today, we have talked about poor workplace communication, communicating organizational goals, and constructive feedback. I hope this speech was informative, and thank you for listening.